Hello, comrades. My name is James Ray, and today I'll be showing you how to make a military in your communist republic. A strong military which can keep out invaders. So, in the country of non-Viet, the land is very quickly taken by surprise by a armed by a oops by a nation called Anasquia. Yeah, Anasquia or something. A country named Andadia quickly takes over a lot of their land, and they ask the country of non-Viet to surrender. But the country of non-Viet does not surrender. The first rule of war, never surrender. That's how you win a war in a communist republic. Second of all, you need an army. First of all, do not use conscription. Do not use conscription if you have the option not to. If you have the option not to use conscription, then don't use conscription. Don't force people into the military if they don't want to be in the military. That will make your army weaker. So enlist people into your military, and whatever military you do have, send them along the border, or with whatever land that you still occupy along where they own their land inside of your country. Second of all, use your geography. The country of non-Viet has a jungle right there, jungle and forest, and jungly forest. Yeah, there's jungly forest, and there's kind of jungly forest and jungle, and this is just jungly forest. So now with non-Viet having that, they hide the troops in trees and make traps and basically fight in a guerrilla army. Why don't you try to use guerrilla tactics? Because if you use guerrilla tactics and hide yourself from the enemy, then the enemy will have a harder time trying to find you. If along a road you have many troops hiding inside of trees, by the time they will find out that you are in the trees and one will already be shot. Then they try to find you, and then another person will be shot. By the time they find you, probably three of them will be shot, and you'll probably still be able to escape because they will just run away. So use guerrilla tactics and use your geography to your advantage. After doing that, use those strategies to try to hold off the invaders. So using those guerrilla tactics, the country of non-Viet were able to push out the invaders and take a little bit of land. And after doing this, you want to keep on pushing as long as possible, but when you finally reach a moment where you cannot push anymore and they are well defensed and like a non-Viet reached, you want to make a defensive line and to use this defensive line and to send troops there and defend it. You'll use this line as a defensive one. And using this, while you are sitting there defending, it'll probably take 6 or 7 or 8 months for your soldiers to be trained. So you have to keep this defensive line for a while so that more troops can come in. I would suggest about a year of the line. Keep it there for a year and to hold off the enemy. Now that's been a year and there were very minimal gains, probably this much gained by you, not a lot of land gains by you. You were able to push out some. You were able to push out some troops. They make some small advances. Basically, nothing really happens. You make advances, they make advances. So after that happens, with a lot more of your troops here, you should probably start finding out ways to to try to take some valuable land from them. With the country that's invading you probably having their forces mobilized and with even more of the army joined, you should probably try to sponsor some resistance. So probably try to sponsor resistance fighters who fight behind enemy lines, fighting them. And with a few of them probably being inside of this land, side of here, with the dots being the resistance fighters, they will be pretty good in slowing down the armies. Because now you need to get the resistance fighters to try to link up. They just need to link up and just destroy as much as the roads as they can. Some can link up, some others don't. Just try to have them take up as much land as possible. Make them take up as much land as possible to stop the invaders. So now deceive your enemies. Maybe he accidentally leaks some radio things which say, like some radio messages which say that you're going to attack in a certain place. Start sending troops there and start just basically saying where you're going to attack. Trick them into thinking that you're going to attack in one certain zone and help the resistance. And now with them thinking that the fighting army would have the plan of doing this and basically encircling you and winning a lot. But they also won't because it's a trick. You start tricking them. And with a lot of their army now being in the area where you're going to attack, probably like along this border, letting you storm into the area and like make you think that you're winning, then send the troops into there and like whatever strategy they have, I don't know. Now, with that, now when that day comes, do send in an invasion, but like do not make it as big as it could be. Like probably small invasions, small attack versus. It will be pretty small of an attack because they still do have a lot of troops in this area expecting your troops to invade. But while most of the army is over here, you might as well even send in more of your army to make it look believable. These troops will probably be defeated back, so you should probably create some defensive lines or hide in some forts so you do not lose too many troops. So then, now with you taking over Moreland, they actually do think that this is the real invasion and it's not tricking them or anything, and a lot more of the army starts coming in. This is just assuming that they do not have a bunch of troops on the border, like stopping you, but assuming that they let you into the country. Now they probably have a plan on like encircling you or whatever, so you should probably find any forts that they have and start sending troops into them to protect those forts. Also, the partisans can help you, can join the forts with you, and a lot of them will probably leave. Then probably looks like this. Probably a few encirclements of troops inside the forts, however, it looks like a massive failure for your army, with encirclements, troops stuck behind enemy lines, and troops fleeing, like troops fleeing from here into there, and you basically losing a bunch of territory. It just looks like a massive disaster and a military failure for your entire country. Looks like you're going to surrender soon. But this is when you surprise them. Now with them thinking that you're about to sue for peace, send in the troops into a different area and take them by surprise, send troops into the area, and now capture large swaths of land without any real repercussions. Now with the encirclement, you have probably made the army now in samples. Also, make sure any encirclements that you do to the army, make sure they do not connect up to any other countries, so they cannot send all the troops into that country, the other one, or like down the river, and connect up somewhere else. Make sure that they are stuck inside of your land and slowly start taking it out. Maybe cut some parts of the encirclement into smaller encirclements. Just make sure that it does not touch any other countries. Maybe even free one of your encirclements. Well, yeah, that's. Well, this is happening. Probably call along a different. If any of the country is along the border, maybe try to call them into the war to help you. But let's say that this pink nation does not want to join the war because they just simply do not. Something was in my nose. They have nothing to gain from it. So you just keep on invading. Just keep on invading, send in troops over here, cut off encirclement right here, one right here. Just keep on blitzkrieging through the land. Just send in troops as fast as you can into the land before they are able to send their troops from over here all the way to over there. This is probably the most you'll be able to take from them before like they are able to mobilize troops. But with this being what the war now looks like, you're probably now with this land weaker, you can link up with the encirclements from where you already have land, and probably link up from there, create some encirclements too. But you might not be able to do like a massive system like that. You might just be able to create some small links, and then like push in right there, encirclement like there, push in. This encirclement surrenders. Give the encirclements options to either choose to lose now and to face worse consequences, and to basically just go home, or to surrender later and to basically you go to jail. And with them probably not going to pick the first one, and it'll probably set a precedent of that they should just surrender, but only do that once. Do not give them too many chances, just once. Do it once, and then say they cannot do it again. Probably just say that you only sent them to jail, or nothing about that first option. But now with the army basically being broken down, and you making major advances along other parts, you should either focus on sending them a peace treaty and gaining land from this and taking back your lost land, or to keep on invading. Let's say that they do not surrender, and maybe a few of these encirclements fall to your army. This one falls, but they are smart and they link up to one encirclement, send troops into there, then using that they send troops into there, that, and they are able to send troops into this encirclement. Maybe even encircle some of your troops. Let's just say that they do not stop fighting, and they will not stop fighting until they lose a lot. So let's say that happens. It will be really useful to either have allies who are against them, or to get the country to join, or to cut off any weaker or anywhere where they're feeling the encirclement, or even do some tactical bombings. Now, if they did this, then probably just cut this up. probably cut it off from the main troops and probably making it into something like this, but they probably expected that. And they probably moved troops out of here and troops up into here, basically creating a lot of land where this is basically just pointless, and and this basically is just land which you already took. They probably do that because they're not fighting anymore. Probably don't let this happening, but if this does, then not much to do about it besides to stop them getting in. And if you can't do that, then make the encirclement as small as possible because they have a lot of troops inside of there. Now with them in a small area, send it on the peace treaty. And now if they don't agree with that peace treaty, then you might have to do a little bit more. If you have the ability to have a navy, then maybe cut off the access to any rivers that they have, which are not directly connected to the country or something. Maybe if you have artillery, then use the artillery to start blowing up towns, start selling towns. Maybe have groups of fighters sneak into the country and start havoc. Maybe a group are able to get right here and create havoc. Then their havoc. They probably have to retreat at some point and they might still lose, but it will still cause havoc. Take out with this encirclement, they will probably just get troops out of here, and that's pretty much what they're probably going to do. This encirclement, and now just start focusing on whatever land you have lost. Now focusing on the land they have lost, try to create any more encirclements, but if you aren't able to, just take them out normally. Just make sure to take back the land they have lost. And when you feel like you have taken back a lot of land, then maybe you send it on the peace treaty. And they should agree to that one, but if they don't, then just take back all the land. And you should probably try to push them out like this, but once you have taken back a majority of the land they have lost, they will either just send you a peace treaty, and if they don't, then at this point, just create a large encirclement. Get some other allies to join, and to create a large encirclement. If they don't surrender, create a large encirclement like this, and basically just force them into surrender. But assuming that they signed a peace treaty, probably along when they looked like this, probably took some land away from you, probably still have some of the land that they invaded, but this is how you won a war. Now with them basically probably just going to accept peace or send you peace, you should probably take back all the land you lost. This is what it looked like. Going back in time, yeah. You'll probably take one which looks like this, or the land which you captured, which they stole from you, because they invaded, so your pre-war borders, and probably a little bit more. Probably that land, this is what it looked like before. Basically just took over this land, that's basically what was taken over. So yeah, probably take back the land they lost, plus some extra. That's basically how you create an army. To create an army, you basically have to, actually, I do not really tell you how to create an army. But that will be the next video, coming next Wednesday. Already have a video planned for Monday. So, goodbye, comrades. Remember to like and subscribe. I probably should be saying to like and subscribe. Just got this video with the 20 minute mark, so yeah. Goodbye, comrades. Goodbye, Squad Diaska. My favorite fan base. Goodbye.